now we're going to switch gears and talk about data storage on hard drives. Let's look at an overview of what we're going to cover. First, we're going to talk about the terminology of hard drives, the different components that make up a hard drive and how they function. Then we'll take a look at how data is stored on a hard drive. Then we'll look at how to use DOS and Windows commands to manage data on a hard drive. Then we'll look at how to identify various types of hard drives and understand the advantages and the disadvantages of each. And then finally we'll look at how to manage a hard drive to optimize its performance. So let's look at hard drive terminology first. The parts that make up a hard drive are the spindle, which is the center of the disk where the disk is connected to the motor, the platters, which are either metal or coated with a metal so that they're magnetic and can be written by the read-write head. The read-write head, which floats on a cushion of air above the platters and is able to write data by magnetizing the metal, or to read data by reading the magnetization of the metal. And the actuator, which controls the position of the read-write heads. Let's take a closer look at the role that each one of these plays. On a platter, we can have many different disks. And on each one of the disks, we can have a top side of the disk and a bottom side of the disk. So in this case, we've got a read-write head on the top and bottom of each of these disks. And there are 4 disks in this platter. One track going all the way down through the platter makes up what we call a cylinder. But in this case, we have 8 read-write heads, 2 per disk on the top and bottom. This is one of the ways that we can get so much information on hard drives today, is that we have so many disks that are in the platter and we're writing to both sides. There's a magnet in the actuator and a voice coil that is either attracted or repelled from the magnet. So we use magnetism in the computer to quickly pivot the heads around the actuator shaft, which causes the heads to go to different parts of the hard drive. And we can do that very quickly. We don't use a motor to control where the heads are. We only use a motor to spin the drive, or to spin the platters from the spindle. Now, if we pay very close attention, just like the floppy drives, when we move data, or when we move the heads towards the center of the track, you'll notice that the heads would need to travel a shorter distance to create a track. In other words, when we move the heads towards the center of the platter, the tracks get shorter. We compensate for this using hard drive technologies. Methods used to adjust for the smaller tracks closer to the center of the platter are write precompensation, which you might hear about, and reduced write current. In other words, since we're moving faster when we get to the center, we might use more current in the center and less current as we move further out in the platter. That way we get a balanced write and then a balanced read on a hard drive. We'll talk more about these technologies. And next we'll look at the different types of hard drives. First we'll look at the IDE drive.